So, but like let's come back to the money aspect of things, Mo, really quickly. So from the money aspect of things, living in downtown, because when I came as an international student, like there are people who are decently well off. I think, like watching the video, there are people who might not be well off but are international students coming into the country, right? Now you guys are probably paying a lot of money, right? Like a huge amount of money. Just to be clear, UofT would cost around $45,000, and at this point around $55,000 per year. That's the cost. When I was coming in, on average I paid around 50K per year. So it is an expensive university, and not everyone can afford it, especially if you're going there for 4 years. Now, in terms of rental, so this is something that a lot of people will be looking at. They'll be like figuring out coming into university, and especially like now that like it's already end of July, which means that within a month people would be coming into different universities like UofT, UBC, University of Waterloo. So the top universities. I would say there is a bit of a distinction in terms of rent between these different cities. The bigger the city is, the more the rent is. So if you guys are coming into a university that is, you guys want to know what the living expenses are, shout out a comment so that we can actually create something for you guys, and we'll lay down the exact finances for every university, whichever you guys are going into. But for now, specifically UofT, I would say like when I came into university, like the rent was somewhere from 600 to 700 at the very lowest in downtown, to somewhere around 2200. That's what I saw as the peak of people paying, and that's per month, by the way, guys. So that comes out to be around coming somewhere between $10,000 a year to up to a $25,000 a year. That's what you'll be paying for living. In terms of food, I would say like the food was between, depending on how much you eat out, obviously. From someone who ate out a lot, like I did eat out a lot, lived in university quite a lot. My goal was like I would try to leave early morning and come back late night and just stay at university. Even if I wasn't doing anything, even if I was just chatting with people, what I tried to do was just be there, and that generally encouraged or motivated me to just work a little bit more. And like people would be working all the time, so I would just do a little bit more work. So it was just small nuggets that helped me, but that meant that generally for lunch I was going out and eating. And a lunch meal right now would cost you between $10 to $12 here. And depending on how much you eat out, I would say in terms of groceries, you can go from $600 a month to about like a couple of $1,000 a month, really. So realistically, you're again looking into spending between that $10,000 to $24,000 mark. You can like generally people are between that thousand on average. People I think are between that $1,000 mark per month. But I know people who have gone up to that $2,000 mark.
Yeah, I think for me, like the experience, like the math that I did was like, yeah, exactly the thing that you touched on. Like rent itself would have cost me about like 12, 13K.
Yeah.
And then groceries would have cost me around like another 12, 13K. So each year, for at least for a domestic student, I would have paid like 15, 16K for tuition, and then like 24, 25K for living downtown plus eating out and whatnot. So that would have been the general expense and whatnot. I didn't have that. My my monthly budget was closer to, I would say, at most 300-ish, 400-ish, versus like someone who was living downtown, they would have spent closer to like $2.5 grand, or I would say three grand a month. So almost like a solid 10 times. But again, I would like to say you're paying with your mental sanity, you're paying with your time, you're paying with your physical stress.
Yeah.
Like